Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to take a look at a cool little band, all right, from the U.S., a band that in their heyday was only around for a couple of years. They hail from Virginia. They kind of burst on the scene in 1977, had a debut album on a major label, and then before you know it, that was done. 2 years later, the band is done. So we thought ended the history of Happy the Man. Okay, this is based on a request from my good friend Rand. Okay, Rand's like, Pete, you got to talk a little bit about Happy the Man. So here we are. So not a lot of albums to their credit. A bunch of things that were released afterwards, after they had broken up. They had reformed in the early 2000s, played some shows, released a new studio album, and it's been pretty quiet in the Happy the Man camp since then. But some fine albums, I think. A very cool band. A lot of people consider the first real progressive rock band. I kind of think Kansas has them beat by a couple of years, but one of the first true prog rock bands from the U.S. and one of the finest. One of the finest, mostly known as an instrument. Tyler's playing with a toy. Mostly known as more of an instrumental band, but they did have vocals throughout a lot of their material. Personally, I always thought they would have been better just strictly sticking to instrumentals. They had this kind of like, they obviously were influenced greatly by Genesis, so you had this kind of like, pastoral Genesis flavor going throughout their music, but also a very strong jazz fusion feel. Right, so you get hints of like Weather Report and Return to Forever and Mahavishnu Orchestra, that sort of thing. Very, very good band. Played really quirky music. Also, no doubt, influenced by some of the Canterbury bands as well. Okay, you can hear a little Hatfield in the North and Caravan and maybe National Health, that sort of thing. A little Soft Machine here and there. Keyboards, little bits of sax and woodwinds, guitar, bass and drum. Like I said, occasional vocals. So we're going to take a look at 6 studio albums. All right, I'm going to rank them all according to the way I kind of see them. So we're going to start off with number 6. So number 6, and again, like I will say, a lot of this stuff was released after they had broken up. So you got like some kind of like, early recordings and things like that. We're going to just include them all because we're not talking about a lot of stuff here. So coming in at number 6, I'm going to go to an album called Beginnings. So this was released in 1990, but this contains some of their earliest recordings from 1974 and 75. So in the band at the time, all right, again, this is prior to them getting signed. We've got mainstays Kit Watkins on keyboards and vocals, Stanley Whitaker on guitars and vocals, Frank Wyatt, keyboards, sax, flute, and vocals, Rick Kennel on bass, Cliff Fortney on lead vocals, flute and Fender Rhodes on a couple tracks, and Mike Beck on drums and percussion. So these were recorded throughout Virginia, Harrisburg, Virginia, where they're all from, various different locations these came from. This is not bad, actually. I know a lot of people like to compare these recordings to their 2 like regular albums that were released shortly thereafter. And here it still sounds like a band trying to figure it out. The influence of Genesis is very prevalent on this album and these songs. However, and that's not a bad thing. All right, I just a lot of the kind of quirky nature of their music that would come out on their debut album, not quite here yet. This is very kind of symphonic and pastoral, like I said, very much of a Genesis feel. Gretchen's Garden is a lovely little tune. Don't Look to the Running Sun, I like quite a bit. Portrait of a Waterfall, Leave That Kitten Alone, Armand. I mean, it's just like, it's a very mellow album, nice keyboards, little bits of like flute and sax and things like that. Not a lot of guitar firepower on this particular album. And the vocals are, usually hit or miss on most of the Happy the Man albums. Like I said, I think they would have been better just sticking to instrumental fare. But, obviously, hard to make a big dent with the masses with purely instrumental music. Right? So that's my number 6. Coming in at number 5, released in 1999, but these are recordings taken from 1974 and 1976, Death's Crown. Okay, both of these released on Cuneiform Records. So here, again, some stuff from the vaults, released after the band had broken up, way after, actually. Here you've got the big 38-minute-long epic Death's Crown, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually. This is actually, very, very good. And then you've got 2 other lengthy tracks. You've got Merlin on the High Places and New York Dream Suite, which again, I think here, band's starting to you can kind of detect a lot of what we'd hear on their debut album on this particular record here. Here you've got Frank Wyatt, Kit Watkins, Stanley Whitaker, Rick Kennel, Mike Beck, and Dan Orvin, okay, singing a little bit and adding some other instrumentation. Not the greatest, and these were taken from, live in studio and various different places. Pretty good, though. I dig this album, as I do all the Happy the Man stuff. I think it's definitely worth having if you're kind of looking to get into the full picture of Happy the Man. Next up, coming at number 4, from 2004, so their reunion CD, The Musa Wakens. This is actually, if you talk about the stuff we just spoke about here, obviously not the greatest sounding recording, stuff from the vaults, whatever. Here you have Happy the Man, a good chunk of them back together, all right, with post-2000 studio techniques and all that kind of stuff. Listened to this quite a bit when it came out. I actually also saw them play live right around this time. Here you've got Frank Wyatt, of course, on board again. Stanley Whitaker's on board. Rick Kennel on bass. And then 2 newer guys. David Rosenthal on keyboards. Oh, quiet. You can wait. David Rosenthal on keyboards. Ex of Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Okay, played on Straight Between the Eyes. Bent Out of Shape. Now plays with Billy Joel, of course. And Joe Bergamini on drums and percussion. A very fine album, if a little slick. Okay, maybe the album a little on the safe side, but still very, very good. Some really great tunes on here. You got Contemporary Insanity. The title track, The Musa Wakens, is great. Barking Spiders is good, pretty rocking. Some great guitar work from Mr. Whitaker there. What else? Lunch at the Psychedelicatessen, Il Quinto Mare. Really good album. More kind of jazz fusion-y, but that's not a bad thing. Atmospheric and airy, pleasant melodies, kind of like, I don't know, when I listen to this album, it sounds less like the Happy the Man of old, more like kind of like a more proggy kind of Spiral Gyra, Chick Corea Electric Band, the Rippingtons, that sort of thing. Really good melodies, tasty playing, right? It's not really that aggressive, couple tunes kind of rock, but very, very good album, I think. Very strong album, and, this would be the last we heard from the band, so 2004. Hopefully they got something else in them at some point. It'd be kind of nice. Coming in at number 3 from 1979, okay, but released, I believe it was 89 or 1990. We got Better Late. Okay, these are additional recordings that they had put together before they broke up. Pretty damn good. It's a shame that, we got that the band just kind of couldn't hold it together. Kit Watkins, Frank Wyatt, Stanley Whitaker, Rick Kennel, and Coco Russell on drums and percussion. Very strong material here. Yeah, you can just wait. You can wait. Tal's got to pee, I guess. Very strong material. Pretty good production. Again, what might have been, right? It's just a shame that they couldn't kind of keep it going. Labyrinth is a fantastic tune. Eye of the Storm. What else? While Chrome Yellow Shine. Who's in Charge here? Quirky. All right. Progressive. Complex. Lot of melodies. That's kind of like the trademark of Happy the Man. Coming in number 3, I had a hard time picking between my 1 and 2. I'm sorry, coming in number 2. Had a hard time picking between my top 2 because I like these both pretty equally. Today, I'm going to go with their 1977 debut, Happy the Man, at number 2. A really fantastic album. There's a reason why the band were handpicked by Peter Gabriel to be his backing band for his solo thing, which they wound up turning down, okay, because obviously they got the major label, Arista, recording contract, and, the rest is history, but how interesting would it have been if these guys actually were the band for Peter Gabriel? But a lot of really great songs on here. Stumpy Meets the Firecracker and Stencil Forest, Upon the Rainbow, Carousel, Hidden Moods, New York's Dream Suite. Again, this was we saw pop up on the Death's Crown album. A lot of the early stuff, like from Death's Crown, you can kind of hear on these first 2 albums. Starborn, Mr. Mirror's Reflection and Dreams. Very just, kind of very Canterbury-ish, gotta love the section, really kind of quirky, cool, melodic little arrangements and stuff like that. So, like this album a lot. Yeah, for years, this was actually my favorite of the first 2, but I'm going to go with Crafty Hands today. Okay, this was released in 1978. This was their follow-up. Also pretty spectacular. Not much separates the first two albums. And again, mostly instrumental. Vocals on a couple tracks, they never should have bothered with the vocals, in my opinion. Service with a Smile, trademark Happy the Man track. All right, Ibby It Is, fantastic. I forgot to push it. What else? Morning Sun, Steaming Pipes. Top to bottom, you can't go wrong. Just very clever stuff. Great arrangements. Just expert musicianship. Not over the top, all right? In spots, very mellow and kind of atmospheric. At others, just kind of, like I said, intricate, quirky. They don't rock out too much. All right, it's kind of fusion-y, kind of proggy. Obviously, very proggy, very fusion-y. A really good band. So that's my number one. I also do want to mention the live album, Happy the Man Live, from I think this was recordings from 1978, at the Cellar Door in Washington, D.C., as well as Louis' Rock City and Falls Church, Virginia. Happening stuff. These guys could tear it up live, so definitely check that out if you're interested. So there you have it. Coming in at number one, Crafty Hands from 1978. Coming in at number two, Happy the Man from 77. Better Late, third, what should have been their third album, from 79. The Musa Wakens from 2004. Death's Crown, recordings from 74 to 76. And Beginnings, recording from 74 to 75. Coming in at number 6. There you have it. My little Happy the Man list for you. Hope you guys dug it. If you haven't checked them out, definitely explore them. If you're a fan, well, go back and listen to them again. That's what this is all about. This is on the web at www.catranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another show. We got favorite album of the year, 2017, tomorrow morning. You don't want to miss it as we wind up that series. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.